My people, how now they see this video? Better rally, hot protest for Enugu State. As a been, I go to give una the story one by one. We get enough story on ground. If you check this video where you go see say Senate, they play with the poor masses because of say the people them poor. See as they carry them, they joke. That thing when Tinubu talk, let the poor breathe. Now so they carry them. They joke with people. They don't know what people they suffer out there. Their own not to sit down for office. They talk nonsense. Now the next video on our list. Now, wetin be name Emefiele. Now if you check where you go see the security officers, then they fight. They say, now we go carry Emefiele go our custody. DSS say na lie. Now we go detain them. This one say na lie. Now so the thing come bust that fight. The next video where they see now INEC chairman, after all the rubbish you don't do during election, you don't come back and say we are promising to make sure that we enhance the possibility of voting next in the future elections. He thought the open man they talk rubbish after everything we don't do. We don't dabaru the election system. Now you don't come out now because they talk they promise Nigeria the same promise that they be give us when they fail us. They don't start again. So watch these videos one by one. If you see this page for the first time, follow this page. Share this video and stay updated. This country. Now wow. Ndara.
Let the poor breathe. And then Senator Mustafa has seconded that the poor should breathe. Those who are in support of the additional prayer that the poor should be allowed to breathe, say aye. And those who are against say nay. The ayes have it, the poor must be allowed to breathe.
It's the first time the suspended CBN governor will be seen in public after his arrest on June 10. He was brought to the Federal High Court, Lagos, by the Department of State Services, DSS, at about 9:20 a.m. for his arraignment on a 2-count charge of illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition, and promptly led into the courtroom of Justice Nicholas Owebo. The 2-count charge was read to him, and he pleaded not guilty. Then followed arguments by his lead counsel, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Joseph Daudu, and the prosecution counsel, Nkiru Jones-Nebo, a Deputy Director of Prosecution of the Federation, on the vexed issue of whether Mr. Emefiele's bail application could be argued. The prosecution insisted that he had not been served with a copy of the bail application, but was swiftly confronted with a proof of service endorsed by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. In his ruling, Justice Owebo held that there was indeed evidence of service. He rejected the objections of the federal government and proceeded to hear the bail application. In his submissions, Joseph Daudu asked the court to admit his client to bail on self-recognizance or on other liberal terms, pending the hearing and determination of the trial. But the prosecution counsel opposed the request for bail. In an oral submission, the prosecutor argued that the suspended governor of the CBN is a powerful man who could intimidate witnesses. She asked the court to note that he had refused to hand in his passport, an indication of his capacity to abscond and evade his trial. After listening to both parties, Justice Owebo declined to grant bail on self-recognizance. Instead, he granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira with one surety in like sum. The surety must own a landed property in Lagos and swear to an affidavit of means. The defendant is also to deposit his international passport with the court registrar. Pending the fulfillment of all these conditions, the judge remanded the suspended CBN governor in the custody of the Ikoyi Correctional Center, as against the request of the FG's counsel that he be remanded in the custody of the DSS. Shortly after the court's ruling, lawyers to the federal government took their leave, declining to comment on the day's proceedings. Operatives of the DSS strategically took positions preparatory to rearresting Mr. Emefiele. His lawyers quickly raised an alarm.
We saw an avowed intention on their part to actually take him back into their custody, despite the order of court. We then called the attention of the learned trial judge, who was magnanimous to hear us. And we told him that these were our fears. So he sent for the officer in charge of the squadron that you see milling around here, armed to the teeth. And his answer was that he's under instruction to secure his safety, and therefore he's under instruction from his boss, meaning the Director General, that he should bring him back. And we said no. The judge then told him, I am now in charge. The court is in charge. He has been brought to court and we have made orders. And he has been asked to go there. Apparently seemed adamant. And he turned and left.
Attempts by the officials of the Correctional Center to take custody of the suspended CBN governor was met with resistance by the DSS, and this led to a clash. Following interventions from lawyers and other quarters, the officers of the Correctional Center withdrew and took their leave, paving the way for the DSS to again take custody of Mr. Emefiele.
Are constrained because we do not want where there will be exchange of arms by the two organs of government. We may very reluctantly, very reluctantly allow our client to force the DSS to willfully, consciously, intentionally flout the orders of the court by taking him into their custody.
At about 3 p.m., the drama came to an end, with the DSS leading the suspended CBN governor away. Trial in this court has been fixed for November 14th. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television.
Leaders of political parties converged on the conference room of the Independent National Electoral Commission to review the 2023 general elections. Before the meeting started, tempers flared as the leadership tussle of the Action Alliance comes to the fore. Officials of the commission had asked Kenneth Udeze to vacate the seat meant for the national chairman of the party. However, he insisted that he remains the chairman of the party.
Want to go and bring Omar, the state chairman, who can tolerate that? A state chairman of my party to make him national chairman. And you said you are a studio. Which studio? The opinion you are talking about, legal opinion, was written by my junior in chamber. Barrister Bashir. He's my junior. I'm not going to take this paper.
Eventually, the party was exempted from the meeting, which commenced with the introduction of the parties in attendance. The session is interrupted for a second time, and this time it's from the Deputy National Chairman, Nuff of the People's Redemption Party, who is protesting the essence of the review when there are litigations over the outcome of the exercise. Nevertheless, the INEC chairman is promising to improve on the challenges witnessed during the exercise.
The Commission is aware that while there are many positive developments from the 2023 general election, there were challenges encountered which must be addressed. Our hope is that at the end of the review process, a comprehensive report will be prepared that will serve as a basis for further engagement with stakeholders, focusing on specific actions necessary for the improvement of future elections and electoral activities.
However, the national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council believes INEC deserves some commendation despite the challenges.
It has our position that the Independent Electoral Commission, INEC, deserves commendation for incremental use of technology in its operations. We do acknowledge that there were challenges during and after the elections as in other elections. It is the position of IPAC that lessons have been learned and matters regarding the elections are before the various election petition tribunals across the country.
The meeting continued behind closed doors while the PRP representatives speaks on his grievances about the meeting.
The PRP is of considered opinion that it is not proper or it is improper and preposterous of INEC to conduct a review of 2023 general elections, especially with political parties, when the party is in court with INEC. And then there are other parties also in court contesting the outcome of that election. We believe that INEC should have gone ahead to conduct an internal review of the elections involving their staff.
INEC believes this series of meetings will help the Commission to correct some of the irregularities